Hey guys, this is Fangel of the Asgard Alliance. Again, just bringing you some Trials of Power updates. The event has officially gone live, and there's a few changes from what I last reported in the sneak peek video yesterday that I just want to update you on. One, going to call out some timing for this event. We now know that this event is slightly over 3 days. As of right now, with this video, we're at about 3.5 days, 3 days, 11 hours. With it, we've seen very interesting changes to some leaderboard stuff I want to bring you. I want to show you a little bit of what's been going on. So stay tuned for some updates on what are the elixirs. Even more, how do we know about how they're staged out throughout the event? What are some of the titans that you can earn? And we finally have official confirmation on who will be receiving Urakor and what this King of the Unax will bring to you. Again, if you are that lucky winner. So stay tuned for some information. Again, Trials of Power from Dawn of Titans. And let's start taking a look at what we know about the event. Alright guys, so here we have the Trials of Power, the land, the castle that raises from the clouds. Now, just to recap where you can find this if you haven't found it already, if you just head to your land, your castle, and just kind of pull out to that world map where that neutral land is, this is going to be found just below the neutral land. Now, I don't know about you, I'm not going to throw too much shit on this, but they got this whole wide open area, and they squeeze it like right next to the neutral lands. Strategic layout, I guess. Didn't really work out there, but here it is. Here is our tower. Looking at this, a few things I want to point out. I'm just curious about this. You see this, of course, the tower that has this magical beam coming out of it, but there's one thing I recognize on this, which is that little gargoyle statue to the left-hand side. Now, I noticed that this is not the same kind of magic spell coming out of the castle itself, but instead a flame that's burning on that post. Now, looking at that, I'm just a little curious myself if this, symbolizes a little bit more than just what we can see. A little theory here that will we see different other types of elements show up on different gargoyles when this major category changes? Because right now we've got the king of the Unax, we've got Urakor that's here. Everything is engulfed in flames. Will we see ones that are, ice and poison? Earth down the road as we see these different elements come into play with these different classes. Just theory of mine, just throwing it out there. Maybe we can come back and see if that really holds anything to it down the road. But just something I noticed, just want to point it out. And let's just take a little bit deeper into what we know about this Trials of Power. So going into it, we see that we do have about 3 days roughly for this, right? It's 6 stones to battle. Now, looking at it, I gave this one shot, one attempt with a pretty basic raid and I hit 82,000. I lasted all the way down until about the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Just kind of gave it one shot. I've literally had one chance to hit this so far all day. But I'm going to come back in and raid it a little bit. But I'm not concerned about showing you gameplay right now. There's several other players that you totally can watch and get some strategy from. The devs have showed it. I'm going to take a different perspective with my Trials of Power update and just make sure we really recap the information that goes on with it. We know we now have more information on elixirs, but let's look at the event, the overall screen, what we have. All right, the level 50 top prize Urakor does go to just one person, right? If we take a look at our rankings now, where you're going to land, I'm going to go all the way to the end. They did make Urakor limited to just one person. Now, the interesting thing that the dev said about this was keep grinding it until the end. Don't think that just because you're not number one, you might not win them, because they are actively looking at this for any hackers or cheats. So I'd even dare to say that if you're in the top 10, you might even have a chance at that if they filter out and find any hackers. So please be cautious of that. Don't lose out on a great opportunity. We've got some great information on him. We're seeing that he comes at level 50 out of 50. All right, he's got 40% armor, 5% piercing, 5% critical. He is doing an elemental flame, 3,406 to it. No natural attached resistance. He's got 5 relic slots, and he's got 5 skills, which nothing to be shown for what he might bring to it quite yet. So just a pretty nice victory, but we finally have confirmation. One person is walking away with Urakor, which is pretty incredible for that one. I hope that the one person, whoever it might be that gets him, will do a bit of a video on it, or if he doesn't do videos, if you happen to catch a stream, I'd love to see some information from you. Share it with any one of us YouTubers so we can get a chance to see what this guy does. From there, we're looking at Urakor all the way down through here for the top 1,000 players are going to get a 4-star, all at different levels. Nice 4-star win. From there, for the next several thousands, we're looking all the way through the top 50,000 between there, are walking with a 3-star Tyrius. Again, another great champion. And we also then have Alaka, which to me I kind of feel is a random throw in here for both of these. You know, this has been so flame and fire focused. We've got Urakor all the way up here. We've got the King of the Unax, but then they throw in an Elethan Titan, and they throw in a Mossman Titan. I just find that kind of interesting. To me, it feels a little off theme, but I mean, hey, I don't get to pick and choose what goes in here, but I was expecting myself to actually see all Unax style Titans in this, and I just kind of find it curious that it's not, that they didn't stick with that main fire theme. However, looking at this a little bit more, when we look at the rewards, we are seeing elixirs definitely coming in here. The first series, that whole entire first tier is all 1-star elixirs. These here are offering just that 1 level max. We've got 15% for critical. We're looking at 18% for armor piercing. We're looking at 21% for health. We're looking at 18% for armor. And we're looking at 24% for damage attack. Now, looking at this, it's, you know, I think that honestly, if you've got the right relics and skills, you may not even find great use in these. But hey, there is the very first level of 1,000 gems. I honestly think the goal for that one there is to actually help you buy a few more rounds, because after you battle this, it does cost you, I believe it's right around 150 gems to be able to refresh it. If I remember correctly, I'll look at it again. But here then we move into 2,000 gems. Then we're moving into the 2-star elixirs, and I previewed these in the last video, so I'm not going to stick too hard with it. As you get through that tier, the next one you're going to hit is 3,000 gems, and then you're moving into 3-star elixirs. The one thing we don't see beyond that final tier, which moves all the way up to the very last tier of earning Tyrius, no in-betweens for it. There's no 4-star elixirs in this, so if you want a 4-star elixir, you would end up having to head into the temple to buy it. Looking at the leaderboard, I know this one thing, you get the opportunity to see your own position and where you place, but then also the opportunity to review who are these top 50, which looks like, and I've got a screenshot from earlier, but it looks like they have actually removed the player that was here in the number 1 slot, who had a ridiculous point value. You may have even already seen the screenshot of that guy floating around on maybe Line or Band or anywhere else. But I'll throw it back up here towards the end of the video so you can see how they're actively pulling some people out of here. Whoever that player was had a ridiculous amount of points. Clear hack. Plus, it was only listed as, I think, like a 1-star Kobar Titan is what he was using. So clearly tried to cheat the system and clearly failed. So be mindful of that. And again, just looking at the event, you now have the ability to jump right to the temple. We've got the information of your rank, your point total, how many you need for your next reward, and your highest score with it, I think is pretty cool. From what I've seen, a lot of players are saying that they're able to make it into a couple 100,000 per round. So it looks like it's not all that fairly difficult. In the end, it's a pretty nice way that if you're stay active with this, you've got a good chance at just at least earning yourself what I feel is a pretty easy 3-star Titan. It's really not all that difficult, as long as you just, I think, play it when it's open. I don't even think you need to spend the gems to be able to stay active, but I mean, it's still early. We still have over 3 days to go with it. Looking at the overall battle with it, you know, we've seen everything with the devs. It doesn't look like anything has changed from what they've shown us and what we've seen from other players. So my words of advice with Trials of Power is play it as often as you can. Spend those 6 portal stones to get in there. If you are good like me, being a free to play player, I'm not really going to be spending anything to work my way up there, because I know I'm not going to land in the top 100 just because I don't play it that often enough to be able to sit down and just grind it all day long. So I'm pretty happy with what I feel is a very easy 3-star. I feel that these 3-star rewards in this ranking are actually much easier to achieve than what the 3 stars are in the soul events. So, that's just my opinion. I'd like to know what you guys think. Where are you guys aiming for these Titans? What are you trying to hit? What do you think are some of the pros and cons to working with this? And what are your thoughts on one person walking away with an Urakor? Like to hear from you guys. Give me some comments down below. Do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit the like button, and share this with the community so we can just kind of keep the knowledge spreading on the Trials of Power. And as time goes on, I'll kind of do an update with it, but I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of change to this. I don't think we're going to see really any different specials with it. It's a pretty short one. This one looks like it's running right till the end of season. I wonder how long it'll be before we see another one. But on that note, I'm going to keep this short, keep this sweet, guys. This is Fandral again, Asgard Alliance, and I will catch you guys later.